I'll share my
Yeah, Muthu,
screen.
you can share your screen.
Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, you can see.
Okay, you can start, Lakshman.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Mm, Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for joining the call. Today we are today we are going to show the one of the UiPath product called UiPath Apps. Today we'll show the introduction and fundamentals of the apps. Tomorrow we'll create some real-time use cases using the UiPath apps. Before starting the session, first will let me introduce ourselves first. Mudhu, can you introduce yourself
Yeah.
to the audience?
So, yeah. Hello all. So myself, Mudhu Krishna, and I have an experience of over 6 years, and I'm associated with L&T Technology Services as a tech lead. And then before, I had an experience of intern in ISRO, and I'm an MVP for 2 times. And it's my YouTube channel. You can follow for all UiPath related tutorials. Yeah, that's Lakshman.
Yeah, I'm Lakshman. I have total 7+ years of experience into RP UiPath, overall 9 years in IT industry. Currently, I'm working as a technology lead in Broadridge Financial Solutions. I'm UiPath MVP for 2023, 22, 23, 24, and also received 14 community awards from the UiPath as active member in the forum. And I have successfully completed the UID and Solution Architect certifications from the UiPath. Yeah, that's all. As I mentioned initially, this is a 2-day series. In day one, we are going to cover introduction to the UiPath apps and what are the components is involved in the UiPath App Studio. How can we build those apps and integration with the different UiPath products, and then Q&A. In the day two, we'll cover about application lifecycle management, autopilot for the apps, and real-time use cases. Yeah, before getting into that one, first we'll see what is this UiPath apps, what is the main use of these apps and all. This UiPath apps is nothing but is a low code platform. By using this application, we can easily create any customized web interactive dynamic web applications we can easily create, by which we can pass an input to our bots, and also we can get read the output from the bots and we can display in the front end. This UiPath apps will come under a presentation layer, so it will help us to create any some dynamic web apps. And also we can easily, by using this product, we can easily integrate with different UiPath products also, like integration services, UiPath orchestrator, whatever the process we have published, we can easily run the process. And also it's similar like in the UiPath Studio, how we'll do the drag and drop. In UiPath apps also, we have many components are available, so we can easily drag and drop, we can create the apps quickly. And also UiPath added some latest features like templates and all. Also, by using the template, we can just drag and drop the template, it will create the application front end easily, so it will save some development time for us. As I mentioned, it is a low code tool, so by using this tool, both developers and non technical users also, we can create any design, any applications and all. So there is not required of any, just drag and drop only, like in Studio how we'll drag and drop activities. Here there are some components will be there. Muddu will show you in the introduction in the next how the application looks like, what are the components available and all. Yeah, this is the high level design of this UiPath apps. There are three in end users, like sales, service, account, any HR, customer portal, the end users. By using this, whatever the app we have created, we can publish also. That will be a cross platform URL, so we can open that application, created application in the browser, mobile, any MacBook, anywhere we can open that app. These are some of the examples of the apps we can create. So it will be a, like a front end for our apps. So by using this app, we can automate end to end business process also. Multiple process also we can trigger this using this UiPath apps seamlessly. And also one more great advantage of using these apps is not only with UiPath products, we can connect with some third party systems also through some API calls and all. If if any of your business process has any APIs are there, by using which that API we can connect with these apps and we can integrate any process. We can trigger by using this front end application, we can trigger any unattended robots or attended robots also. Yeah, Muddu, you can continue
Okay.
for the next.
Okay. Thank you, Lakshman. So as Lakshman mentioned, so UiPath Apps will be a low-code platform where you can generate a quick UI to users to quickly interact with your automations. It can be an attended, or it can be another app that has to be triggered. So in simple use case will be like, if in case user has to start a robot, previously what we have to do, we have to create an attended license. We have to assign an attended license to user, and then we have to give access to, I mean, we have to install that UiPath Studio in his machine, give the attended license, and then there he can input the parameters, and then he can start the process. So all those can be avoided by simply creating a UI to the user, right? So that UI creation happens in UiPath Apps. So you can quickly create, like for example, process has to start ad hoc, I mean, there is no schedule. So with the date input, or with the file, the process has to start. So you can create a simple app, and then you can create two fields asking for file, and then giving asking for a date, and then you can click on run, and in background it can hit a process, unattended process, and it can show the output in the app. So that's one of the example to understand the basics of apps, what basically app is. So mainly in apps we have two components. First one is apps, so which will be a service. So you create an app, and that has to be executed somewhere, right? So that execution happens in apps, so that's a service. And then App Studio, that where initially you have to design your app, right? So with controls, so that designing interface is called App Studio. Just like how we have UiPath Studio and then robot, so here UiPath Studio will be App Studio, and then robot will be apps. So apps will be running your apps. So this is how once you log into orchestrator, this is how it looks. So I'll show you in demo. As I mentioned, so we have two cases, right? Apps and App Studio. Let's open, I'll show you the URL. Let's go to Chrome. So I'm opening orchestrator. You can find it in community edition as well, so it's not a problem. You'll find apps, click on it, and that apps will be accessible from left side bar. If you're not able to see here, you can go to more options, and it might be available here. Even then, if it is not available here, community edition you basically will see somewhere here. If not, if you are using an enterprise edition, maybe you have been blocked to use apps, so you can ask your administrator, so that like he can give access to apps, and then you'll be able to see the apps. Okay, so once you open inside apps, you'll have two tabs, build and run. So if you see here, so in build, you build the apps as name suggests. You can create apps here, and then you can search among the apps that are already available, and you can edit the existing app as well. In the run tab, so once you create an app, you publish the app, and then it will be showed in run page. So here you can start the apps. So two components, apps and App Studio. Under apps we'll have build and run, and App Studio we're going to see now. So once you click on create new app, it'll ask for name. Okay, sample. Then if you want to make it public apps, like it's not if you want to make an app that is not just I mean, it's not uh, limited to your organization, and then you want to share that app to outside organization, then you can mark it as public app, and then you can publish. So I'm naming it as sample. Once you create I mean, select a name, it will automatically create an app, and that this interface is called App Studio. So here you can see, you can already see autopilot. So instead of manually creating app with the controls that are already available, so you can generate an app by using autopilot. So you just have to describe the app, like I need an app that takes two fields. One will be first name, and then another one will be like maybe a roll number or something, or a employee number or something. and then you click on, maybe for simple, if it is like an attendance app, then you just need names and then employee number, and then hit on submit. That will be like he enrolled to some app, some if there is an event, then you can have a quick form in app. So if you want to define that, you just have to type like I need an app with two fields, and then with the submit button something, it will automatically create an app, so with autopilot. So Lakshman will show you, tomorrow we have a demo for autopilot as well. Lakshman will show you that, but for now let's start with scratch, blank page. You can select the templates as well. So if you can see here, this will have already a few fields. You can add more to this and then connect to your automation directly. And just to, so since we are new here, just click take blank page and then understand what we have here. So firstly, search bar. So here you can locate specific elements, components or settings within the designer interface, which is this one. This will be the designer interface. This entire view that you are seeing, this is called App Studio. In UiPath Studio, you'll have the activities in the left side, right? So here you'll have activities in the top side. You have to click on Add Control, and then it will appear in the left side. So this Add Control is the main. I mean, this is like an activity pane. You click on that, you'll see different kinds of activities. So here you can uh, add controls, and then you can also integrate your process with, I mean, you integrate your app with the process or connection or a queue, or you can integrate this app with an action center action item. So all this happens once you click on add control. So this is called add control bar. So here you can search for different fields, I mean different activities. For example, for input we have some controls. I'll explain in the next slide. I mean, we're going to have this as a separate slide. Just like just for the first thing, we just understand the dashboard elements that we have under App Studio. So these are the controls. Next we have this publish. So once you're done with your app, so once you add and create and design your app properly, you can click on publish. This will publish to orchestrator, and then there you can you saw, right, build and run. Under run, your app will be shown, and then there you can select your app and then you can click on run. So that the publish button is to publish. And then settings. So these are app settings, app related settings. You can modify the properties, and then you can give access also to the users. You can change the owner as well. You can upload a UI, I mean a good icon also to your app, and then if you go to manage access, you can assign different roles to that app. So that happens with settings app, settings button. Okay, let's go back to main page. Then we have project explorer. Yeah, since I have single page, I can see only one. So this window is called project explorer. If you add many pages, you can just like how we have if you are aware of WordPress or something, like there you can see similar interface. I mean, you can have controls in the left, you can drag and drop, and then you can create multiple pages as well without using any JavaScript or HTML or CSS. So this is just like that. And properties panel. So each time when you add a control, for example, if I want to add a button, so here you see properties, general properties like text, what has to be written here. You can just click on expression editor, and then you can change it to submit. So all these things will happen in properties panel. Okay, so these are the different dashboard elements. Let's delete this. Okay. So basically, as I shown, those are the dashboard elements. Next, we'll have let's explore like different kind of building blocks that we have to build an UiPath app. So we divided those controls into three. First one is input controls, second one is display controls, and third one is container controls. Input controls are the ones which these activities will be used when user have to interact with app. So for example, he has to give some input to the app. So you quickly drag text box to the design interface, and then you name that text box. You label it like first name or something, and then you keep that empty text box where user will enter that, and then that you can, by using VB expressions, you can get the whatever we entered there, and then you can use it further in the app. So basically input controls are used for taking input from users. Here, these are the different types. You can like buttons, a checkbox. You can also add custom HTML. You don't have to worry about dates. You can directly, if you see like IRCTC or something, you'll have the calendar icon where you can directly select the date from the calendar. So that kind of date picker will also be there. You can add drop down, and if you want to upload a file, then you'll have something called file uploader. You can just keep that, and then that will give you interface like choose file. You select choose file, and that will open a small window, and then there you can select the required file. And then multi-select also, you have radio buttons, you have slide bars, sliders. For example, if you want to choose, I mean, just like how we have volume bar, so that kind of bar will also be there. We'll have switch, text box, as we know, like these are the common input controls. And the next part is display controls. So these are the ones where you show the I mean, where you show the output to the user. So once you, for example, if you have a document understanding process, and then the process should start with a file upload. So you developed an UiPath app where user will have a file picker, so this like file uploader. And once you user uploads, I mean selects the file, the process has to start, and then extract the fields from that document. For example, if it is an invoice, extract all fields related to invoice, and then it has to show that extracted elements in a view, and then it also has to show the document. So in for these we need display controls. So you need a document viewer to show, and then for example, you also have to give keep that file somewhere and then make it downloadable. So you just need a file downloader, and then you have to show a table, then we need table. So to show the view to users, I mean, to show the output to the users, you can use display controls. And then next we have container controls. So these container controls are mainly to it will act like a bucket. So you have so instead of having these input controls and display controls randomly in your design interface, to align them properly, we use container controls. So like all these elements should be in the right side, and then you can create a container on the right side, and then make all those input controls in the right side. And then you can, if you want to show an icon, then make a container in the left side, and then make it visible there. So to align these controls properly, we use container controls. So next, these are the key features of UiPath apps. So first one, as we already know, so I show you the interface. It is very simple. You just have to go to controls and then drag and drop elements, and then you can quickly build an app. So it will be very easy. The next, we have pre-built templates. So all the time you don't have to start from scratch. So we have predefined templates for different kinds. We have one template for form, one template to pick a file. So like that, we have many templates as I showed here. So if we go back, create an app, example one. So here you can see different kinds of templates. So as I mentioned, this is for form, this is for header and content. And if you have, like, if you want to upload a file, then you can directly select this template. And then if you want to show for example, if you know Power BI, so there you'll be able to create dashboard elements, right? So in the backend will be some database. So if you want to show similar kind of dashboards, here you can select the dashboard and then give the source properly in the backend. Just like that, you have a lot of we also have dialog model, and these are the different kind of templates. And then using these templates, you can build your app even much faster. And then seamless integration. So with apps, you can integrate, as I mentioned before, you can integrate with data services. You can integrate with your action center action items. And then you can also integrate with connectors. If you have connectors in your organization, for example, if you have SAP connector, you can directly integrate that SAP connector with your path apps. And then mainly the process, as we already know, I mean, as I said in the first point, I mean, you can integrate your process with your path apps. And AI powered app creations, as I showed, we have autopilot now. So autopilot is like I mean, not exactly copilot, but a copilot for automation. So that is called autopilot here in UiPath. So with autopilot, you everything will be like prompt and then generate content. So just like how we do it in ChatGPT. So everything related to automation, you can make it. I mean, you can generate using autopilot. So there, now we have autopilot also for apps. So you can just upload a form which will have different elements. For example, I'll just draw in an image like first name and then a box, last name and a box, and then a submit button, just like in plain writing, and then a cancel button in an in a paper, and then I'll take a picture of that and then upload it here. You can select that image, and then I'll just write like just create an app based on the image that I've shared, and then it'll exactly create a complete front end for you based on that image. So that's how easy to create an app with AI. And effective collaboration, you can as I mentioned, we'll have two types of deployments. So one, we can deploy that URL into public. So you can create an app and then make it a public app, and you can share that URL in entire organization outside, or also in outside organization. They'll be able to use that apps. And if you want to limit that, and then you can uncheck the public app, and then uh, give us assign roles to only few people in managed roles, and then you can limit that app to within your organization. And finally, the cross platform consistency, as Lakshman already mentioned in the architecture. So since this is a web app, so Chrome will be accessible in all operating systems, right? So in Linux also we'll have same Chrome. In Windows also we'll have same Chrome, also in Mac. So just create an app, give the URL, and then that's it. I mean, that URL can be used by any person in any operating system. So that's about the basics of UiPath apps, what it is. Let's try to create few apps now. So I've named it sample. Let's take blank page. Let's start with creating an hello world app. As I mentioned, so firstly we need input box, right? So go to add control, click on input, then I'll name my app first. I'll take, like, if you want to search in these controls, you can just search here. It will show you. So I'll just add a label first. So once you add a control, so it'll directly add with that control name itself. If you want to edit that name, you go to properties panel, and then you click on these slides, open resources, click on expression editor, and here you'll be able to edit the name of that control. So I'll name it hello world, hello world app. So that will create an hello world app. And then if I want to add some events, I can go to events and then add. Tomorrow we'll see end-to-end use case where we'll be adding an event also, like when user enters this output has to be stored in some database, right? One thing is like you cannot give your own database, so you have to use data services that we already have within Yapath orchestrator. For example, if you want to create a survey app, so you enter everything and then you connect to the data service. So data service is nothing but this one. Inside data services, you will have simply assume this as like a database, SQL database. Assume it like a SQL database. You'll just create your own data service. For example, a point form. So I can create a new entity, and then within that data services, you can create different columns. For example, if I need in my app, if I need these are the common ones, I think. So these are the field names. So I need employee name, number, whom to meet. So if, for example, if it is like an appointment form, then I need these columns, right? So you create these columns, you integrate that data service with UiPath app, and then you run the app and then give the data, and then that data will be stored in data services. So that's how, I mean, that's how you add an event or create a rule. So this is quickly a hello world app. Let's add one more control to take something from user. Text box, go to general, and then you see this label. You have to change this label, right? So that is there here. Click on this expression editor, enter your name, maybe it'll ask you, and then so if you just want to print that name here, somewhere here, you can just take one more label, just double click, and then that will automatically add. It is here. If you search, it will show you the properties explorer. Without, if you don't click here and then search, it will search in properties. I mean your file explorer. Click on add control and then search label. Just add a label, and then here I'll whatever user entered, I'll just print it back. So I just want to use expression editor, and then creatable. I don't want to create a variable. From main page, so whatever I've entered there, I have to get that right. So from main page dot which one I need from text. So I'll select text, and then from there I need value, right? The value, then click on save. That will convert it as expression. You can, it will automatically save for a few times, but you can just use Control S to save. And then before publishing, you can just preview the app. The preview stage is like testing stage. You can interact with your developed app. So I'll write hello UiPath Apps, and then that will quickly print it here. So I kept label as well there, so that's why it is showing label as well. You can remove label and then it will show hello UiPath Apps. Instead of that, if I need to show a pop-up, just close this. For this itself, you can add events create rule. I can, as I showed here, so if you go to events, and then if you enter something, and then if you want to, based on some condition, if you want to show something, then you can create a rule on that. Create a rule, and just need to show the message. So can edit this. Title will be UiPath Apps demo. Click on save, and then from message, I need to print the message that user entered, right? So you can add your expression editor here. I mean your expression here. Main page dot text dot value, and that's it. I can remove this. Just select that and then click on delete. It will remove. Save it. Click on preview. And then write hello apps, and that will show you a pop-up. Okay. So this is a quick demo of a simple app. And so let's discuss on the differences between other solutions and then UiPath app. So most of the low code platforms that we have for the other vendors, they only focus on connecting applications to other systems, and that happens through APIs. And that will enable data exchange between systems, right? But UiPath apps takes it sorry takes it further by incorporating automation as well. So for example, if you see similar kind of interfaces in other one second, sorry. Yeah. So most of the low code platforms that are already in the market, So they can provide you this kind of interface, and then they'll give you the option only to interact with other applications only through API. You cannot trigger automation, or you cannot trigger with you cannot start any other applications from apps, if you see the other vendors. But with UiPath apps, you can incorporate that automation. It will allows you to build your own applications, and then it will be on cloud, or you can also request for on premises as well. So for cloud, you'll see that integrated already with the cloud. But if you have on-prem orchestrator in your organization, you can request for apps, and they'll give you a separate URL where you can develop and deploy apps. That is one major difference. Also, with UiPath Studio, UiPath App Studio apps will offer robust features, like you can access data, and then you can update the data. You can also include conditional logics to handle complex business requirements. For example, if you so based on user input, the process has to start or not. For example, if you take a date picker, or else instead of date picker you just selected a text box, and then here you need to have a proper date format, but user entered wrong format. So you can just add events here, you can just edit rule, you can add a condition here. So this condition, if you need to have a if condition, you can just add if condition, and then you can mention like this, if the entered text is in this kind of format, then continue with the trigger the process, else show a message to the user telling that no, you entered an invalid date format, so please enter the date format and then run the app again, so something like that. So that conditional logic also you can add it here. That will help in managing the complex business requirements. Also, it is backed by a powerful UiPath platform, which will give you, which can make, that will allow you to leverage entire business workflow. This can make your automation end to end. You don't have to schedule a bot daily twice. For example, if you don't know when to start a process, or which will start the process, then in that case, currently we have this solution to schedule a robot for maybe 3 to 4 times, and then the robot will be checking. For example, I'll explain with an example. If you have a process where the process has to start with a file that is available in a SharePoint. So when user places a file in the SharePoint, the process has to start. It has to trigger. So in that cases, now what we do, so we have Studio Web as well. For this you can add a trigger, but if you don't have Studio Web, and then in organization how it is happening, you will schedule robot 3 times a day, so that like robot will check that folder for 3 times. If there is a file, then it will take and continue, else it will just notify the user that there is no file. So that's how we are doing. And then here we cannot, so that 3 times we are wasting the license, right? So, and it is not an end-to-end automation. With apps you can directly make that interactive, give that app to the user. He can, once he plays the file, he can directly start the process from the UiPath app. This is a simple example. This is a very basic example for UiPath app. It's very powerful than what I just mentioned, but this can be a simple use case to understand what is UiPath apps. So that makes UiPath apps different from other applications as well. And I think that's all. Oh, Lakshman, you have something to add?
Sorry, Muddu, I didn't.
You have, if you have something, some other points to add, you can add. Else, you can take some questions from users.
No, tomorrow we'll cover about that use case and all. We can go for Q&A now.
Okay.
Yeah, let me unmute others.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
hi
can ask
everyone.
your
We gave
questions now.
access. You can unmute yourself and you can ask any questions if you have.
Hi, Mudhu.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. This is
Yeah.
Raghavendra.
Okay.
Yeah, how can I, if I want to launch that web page using that URL, how can I launch that? Is there any specific URL or is it
Raghavendra, your voice is actually too low. Can you talk a little bit more?
Yeah, hello. Is it
Yeah.
clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to launch that website through URL. Is there
Yeah.
any specific URL I need to launch by
Yes.
using that www dot it's anything or like uipath.com itself?
No, it will generate a URL. So once you create an app and then if you deploy it, it will generate an URL and then you can share that URL to your organization. I mean,
Customer.
to your entire organizations, and then they can access that app using that URL. Yeah.
Can we customize that URL or
So
with chance?
customization. So by default, it will generate an URL. If you want to
Okay.
customize it more, you can keep that URL in tiny URL. Some external websites there, right? So you can shorten that URL. So if you think, if you I know, I mean, why you're asking that, like, you'll have
Yes,
this organization details and orchestrator details in the URL, right? So you cannot share that to everyone.
yes. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking there.
So in that case, you can use this shortened websites. You can just give this URL to that website. It will give you shortened URL, and that will completely anonymize your the organization and everything details in the URL. Yeah.
Okay. So if, once we develop that, it's a small web page and
Mhm.
it's like form based. If
Mhm.
we enter the details, all details are stored in data services or like
Yes.
any we can save that any database.
No, for now we can use data services, and then from there, from data services, you can I mean, later you can use some other connectors or something to get that from data service, and then to do, I mean, use it in some other applications. For now, it is database.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even when we at the time of developing, also we can get the data from the data services also. Is that right?
Yes. 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 Right.
Thank you, Mudhkrishna. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any other questions?
Yes, so one question I just want to know that these are the web apps. So, just like we are having apps on our mobile, so when we will publish this app, so it will act as similar way that we will be installing it on a device and we will be able to use it on our device.
No, here
No,
there is no need to do any installation and all. Just once you have created the app and published, right? In the orchestrator app section, you can see one URL. That URL you can open in your mobile. There is no need of any installation and all.
I'll quickly show you. 1 second. I'll share my screen again. Is my screen visible, Lakshman?
Yes, Muddo.
Yeah. So just now I've created a sample app, right? Just take that Hello World app. This one.
Yes.
I'll just delete this. Okay, click on edit. So once I'm done with my creation, I can just publish. Then mention the version notes, something. Then click on publish. So this will publish my app, just like how you publish your uh, process from UiPath Studio. You publish the app, and then you can click on deploy now, and that will get you into. I mean, it will get to orchestrator, and then just like how we have process, we have apps here, app section. You can click on deploy app, then select the app. So I have the one which I want to deploy is sample one. Then I mention the version, and then click on deploy, and this will deploy your app. And then, so this will be the URL. So if you click on this, it will directly open the app.
Okay.
If you want to use this, and you can quickly refresh the run section, and then if you click on play button, it will run the app. And you can share this URL. You can copy this URL and then you can give that to end users, and then they'll paste that, and then they'll be able to access the your app. You can just it's hello, and then that will show you the, I mean, that will run the app. And as the I think one more person asked, like, how do we uh, minimize this URL? You can go to tiny URL or some website. You can copy that URL here, and for that human, and click on shorten URL. And this URL will not have any organization related uh, messages, I mean, or text within this. You can copy that and then you can share it to the users. If I paste that, it will still open the UiPath app. Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
And there are different stylings are available, like in if you building any website, right, there we have some css and all styles and all you will apply for our application. So
Yeah,
here
after
also there are different styling options available, we can apply to our those styles and all. So as per that, there are some properties will be available for each of the controllers. So as per, let's say if you're opening in the browser, in the web, in the laptop or any system, it will, as per that it will be compatible, like similar way in mobile, as per if you are opening in the tab, it will be the compatible view.
it's automatically layout will be arranged as per that mobile or tab or
Yes.
it's in
Yes,
laptop.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But there in the control act properties, you need to select auto and all. If you're selecting any minimum width and height and all, so then maybe it will change that alignment and all. You need to select some auto and all. You need to play with different options there. Do you have any other questions?
No, Lakshman. Thank you. Thank you, Madhukrishna.
Okay. Thank you. Any we're going to, I mean, Patra, do you want to speak something, or shall we close the session?
No, Mudhukrishna, I think we are good.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining and thanks for the session, Mudhu and Lakshman.
Thank you. And